from slaves to heirs. Are we still slaves, or are we heirs, sons and daughters of God? It would be very good if we have a personal answer to this question at the end of this lesson.
Galatians 4:7. So you are not a slave anymore, but a son. And if a son, then an heir through God. Paul continues his passionate explanations about the promise given to humanity through Abraham, the role of the law, and the gospel.
The lesson starts with where we ended last week, chapter 3, verse 26-27. And what Paul finds it important to continue his thought on is our status in Christ. Why? Because, after all, he was the Son of God, isn't it? So how do I relate to Christ? How do we relate to God? What's my status in God? According to Paul, when we were baptized, we have clothed ourselves with Christ. Clothed? Yes, we have covered ourselves with Jesus' garment. And there is no other garment that Jesus wears except his righteousness. So we are covered with Jesus. We are his. And as Paul says in verse 26, for in Christ Jesus you are all sons of God through faith.
Trying to conform, to do things so you can feel that you belong, focusing on your performance. This can't make a relationship work. You can't find peace, spiritual freedom, hope by working the law. It's about being part of the family. Check this from the lesson. Our union with Christ, symbolized through baptism, means that what is true of Christ is also true of us. Imagine that. As Paul says, if you belong to Christ, then you're Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise.
In today's age, in my country, Canada, where I live, no one becomes an heir of his parents' wealth unless it's legally, lawfully transferred. And age matters. Whether you're of legal age or mature enough according to the will of the giver, you will or you will not receive the inheritance. So if you're not of age, there is a trust appointed to manage everything that will be given to you in the future. Paul, in chapter 4, verse 1-3, saw us as the matured heirs, those of legal age. When Jesus came, we became legally heirs of God. Before that, there were trusts in the form of religious laws and practices and rituals, just a shadow of the real things that kept us going, but still enslaved to them, not free and not empowered definitely. So what Paul is trying to tell the Galatians is like, we are not minors anymore, Galatians. But if you go back to the works of the law, you will become minors again. And why would you?
Refusing to grow and going back instead of forward doesn't mean that you are pure as a child, that you have a pure faith. Being childish is different. Galatians 4:3-5. So also, when we were under age, we were in slavery, under the elemental spiritual forces of the world. But when the set time had fully come, God sent his Son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those under the law, that we might receive adoption to sonship.
The appropriate time came and God sent his Son. The will of God was open and executed. The same parallel that Paul gave with the Father who kept his will for his Son. Jesus became a human being and died on the cross. He reclaimed everything back that Adam has lost. He fulfilled all the demands of the law, unlike Adam did. He met the justice of the law by his death, again unlike Adam did. This gave him power to redeem all those who wanted to follow him. All done and all accomplished by Jesus in our behalf.
Born under the law, Jesus bore our condemnation. He fulfilled the law through obedience as no one else can. He met the justice required by the law by dying on the cross. This is why he can redeem us. This is how we can be adopted in the family of God, because of him.
What's the benefit of being heirs of God, you might ask? And I cannot give you a full answer for sure, but Paul saw the first benefit being the freedom of the condemnation of the law that was bringing, the freedom of the power of sin, the freedom from death, freedom of the devil. Another benefit that Paul saw was the gaining of full rights as heirs, no longer a slave, no longer under a trust or under the law, but sons and daughters, heirs of God. Paul stresses on how important was the fact that God sent His Spirit in our hearts as a testament, as a sign of conversion, which was very impactful for the first century church.
And this is the whole sense of everything that our world is going through, to return to the family of God, to be able to enjoy this family, to be able to call God Daddy, Abba, Papa. This doesn't invalidate the law, it doesn't change the character of God, but now it's in my heart. It's part of who I am, because I was adopted. I am in the family of God.
At the end of this lesson, it's worth asking ourselves, have I turned back to the basic forces, to the elementary principles of religious practices, observances, rituals, to find and discover life or salvation? Paul's opinion is that they have no ability to give life, and his advice is to be mature again and to be heirs, to live like heirs of God.
Our relationship with God is not based on rules and regulations. We are heirs, not slaves anymore. Paul has a special appeal for next week's lesson, so join us then for Paul's pastoral appeal.